attack!
That cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners. That's a 10.
Coming at you from beautiful upstate Saskatchewan, it's the Johnny Pinball Show. With your host, JP Johnny Pinball. Hey everyone out there in Pinball Land, how's it going? I hope you had a great Texas Pinball Festival. I know I enjoyed watching all the seminars. We learned some pretty cool stuff. The subject of today's video is the 2022 TWIPY Awards show. We're going to go over who won and who didn't win. If you're ready for it, let's get right to it. Alright, let's start with Best Theme. I've got the 2022 TWIPYs on the left and the 2021 TWIPYs on the right. So you can see this year, James Bond won by Stern. Now that's a surprise to me. I thought Weird Al would be a better theme than James Bond. But I guess if you just remove how poorly that game launched, if you had told me 2 years ago, I probably would have voted James Bond too. But just kind of in hindsight, it's hard to pick James Bond now. Now last year, it was Godzilla by 36 to 24%. And this year, it's a little closer with James Bond only getting 26%. So the results are a little tighter this year, a little bit more competitive. If you look here, Rush got third with almost 20% of the vote. And then Toy Story right behind it, 18.48% of the vote. Then after that, these games didn't have a chance. All right, let's look at the best mods of 2022. The Neon Tokyo sign for Godzilla won this year. I think you might remember when that pin side thread blew up when that was first shown. Had quite a bit of stir. I have a Godzilla and I don't have that mod because it was very expensive. But I think that's what people like. And last year, it looks like the winner was the Mandalorian animated Grogu. That's right. People said, why doesn't Grogu move? He's just a static figure on there. Moving on to Best Sound. Looks like they renamed this category this year. Our next category is Best Sound. Now, no surprise that Rush won this. Anytime there's a music pin, it's almost guaranteed to win. But it was up against another music pin, you say. Weird Al's Museum of Natural Hilarity. Kind of surprised it drops off from 48% to 18%. Because I thought the pinball community can be a little nerdy at times, and Weird Al's more of a nerdier, music style. But I guess the demographics say otherwise. Rush won handedly this year. And if we look last year, it was Godzilla versus Led Zeppelin, and the upset went to Godzilla. Nothing could beat that game last year. Beat the Rock Pin with 37% of the vote. Cool beans. Now we're on to favorite pinball convention. It seems to always go to Texas Pinball Festivals, but they didn't have one last year. So if you look at last year, Chicago Pinball Expo won it. If you look at this year, Texas Pinball Festival won it. About the same percentage, 27 for Texas versus 29 last year with Chicago Pinball Expo. And then this year, Chicago Pinball Expo ended up in second place with 24%. We also see Midwest Gaming Classic is gaining in popularity, bumped up a notch. Looks like it won third place because of its second and third choice votes. If you look there, it only has 8% versus Cincinnati's 9%. But if you throw in those other votes, bumped it up a spot. Favorite homebrew machine? The American Pinball American Dream. David Fix presents to you. Well, he didn't design this one, but Elf by Bob Nyes. With 26.39% of the vote. 701 first choice votes. Last year went to Ferris Bueller. I think Elf is probably a better theme in my mind. I don't know what you guys think. If they were head-to-head, which one would you pick? And that Dukes of Hazzard, that was a re-themed game of a Paragon. So that kind of is the gray line. Some people think, well, is that really a homebrew? But still a ton of work. Get new art, get new rules, put in the LCD. And again, congratulations, Elf. Now we move on to the Lyman Sheets Memorial Best Rules Award. This year, it went to Rush and then Toy Story. Rush with 48.39% of the first choice votes. Compared to last year's, nothing could beat Mega Monster Godzilla with his 65% of the votes. I am surprised that Toy Story 4 managed to beat out Weird Al. I don't know if you read Pinside this year, but when that game came out, everyone said it was too easy. Where are the rules? Because the rules were, you beat it once, now you've got to beat it again to truly beat the game. Kind of like doing Super Mario all over. And poor James Bond. Well, it did release at the end of the year, almost getting beaten out by Funhouse 2.0 kit. Ew, yikes. Favorite pinball website? Pinside. Of course it's Pinside. It's always Pinside. Did Johnny Pinball vote for Pinside? No. He likes the pinball map because you want to look where that Godfather is. Is it out on location yet? Can I go play it? Not in my city. Congratulations, Pinside. I mean, that is where people buy, sell, talk pinball, so it makes sense. And last year it was Pinside. It did slip a smidge, lost about 7% of the votes this year. Nap Arcade creeping up, beating out TWIP, which is no surprise. TWIP's kind of been fallen by the wayside. I know the person who was running it kind of retired from that, and now a different person is running the website. Plus, Nap Arcade gets you the news like that. If it's a sniff, if he sniffs it out, he posts it up. Best toys and gimmicks, or is it best toys and mechs? You decide. And you guys thought the James Bond rocket was the best toy of 2022. I am torn on this one, right? Because Toy Story had the tablet, but it had the cool jump ramp. Rush, I'm surprised that didn't win. I mean, it has that time machine. That magnet is pretty cool. Weird Al, right? It's got a hamster wheel, so hard to say. And I don't know anything about Superhook, sorry, Bitronic. But if we kind of look at this, Weird Al did beat Rush with the first place votes and almost beat Toy Story. And, well, if we keep looking at this, Weird Al actually beat James Bond. Whoa, mind is blown. Jerry, are you looking at this? You got robbed. I don't know. I think we should protest this. Weird Al should have won this. And last year, no surprise, it was Godzilla by Stern Pinball. Moving on to the favorite YouTube channel. I know, hold your horses. Johnny Pinball didn't have a channel last year that he uploaded on, so that's why I'm not on the list. 2023, watch out. I hope to be in the top 10. But TNT gets it again, back-to-back years. Not even close, 850 to 547. Congratulations, Todd. You've become a star. And if we look at last year's results, very similar order here. We got TNT straight down the middle, Carrie Hardy in the top 3 both years. Moving on to the best artwork. Can you draw me up something real quick? Oh, you did already? It's my logo? Awesome. Looks like this year went to Toy Story 4. That's John Yossi, I believe. Congratulations. It's one of those, like, a lot of it is just the poses, but I'm sure he had to redraw the poses, so it doesn't look bad, that game. Rush by Stern. I think it would have won. The backlash is definitely better, but it has those faces on the playfield, and no one really liked the faces on the playfield. And I think that hurt Rush. Weird Al, I mean, theoretically, that is a lot of artwork because they have the scenes that keep animating that goes on the playfield. So that could have won, but it didn't. James Bond, that shouldn't even be on the list. There was no artwork in that game. That was all done by Photoshop. And last year, Godzilla killed it by Zombie Yeti. Halloween was very good last year, too. And The Mandalorian by Randy Martinez. And Ultraman. Very tough crowd last year. This year, I think it was a little easier to decide. Well, maybe not. I don't know, actually. All right, moving on to the streamers. Not those party favors, no, people who stream live pinball or pinball content. Dead Flip wins, kind of no surprise, but if you look at his percentage, he dropped quite a bit from last year, down to 22% from 37%. Ooh, the mighty have fallen. Speaking of the mighty have fallen, Kaneda drops a spot. Oh, but he only drops a spot because of the second and third choice votes. The controversy between him and Zach Mini continues. Flipping Out taking second place. Flipping Out is a pretty fun Monday morning, I don't know, maybe Monday morning in Australia, but Monday evening stream here, so I can see why that won. Fourth place, IE Pinball, same both years. Anything new? Fox Cities Pinball looks like drops a couple in the rank, playing a little tango with Buffalo Pinball. So either way, this field, I think, next year is wide open. No one really ran away with it. Will it be Kaneda next year for his Saturday morning spectaculars? Will Flippin' Out finally get a Twipy? Will Dead Flip kind of just die off now that Jack's doing a full-time gig designing games? I don't know. Best animations and display. We got Toy Story for the win. And no, it's supposed to be Cactus Canyon. The XL dots. Come on, people. You don't look at that giant LCD screen. People in your blinking RGB lights, I tell ya. Yeah, so Cactus got second. That's cool. Rush gets third. No surprise there. Weird Al gets fourth, which actually beat Rush in the first place choices. So, sorry, Jerry, you're getting screwed again. Last year, it was Godzilla. Let's take a look at the numbers. Oh, overwhelmingly Godzilla. So this year, not quite as certain that it was Toy Story. But the people have spoken, and I'm just a talking head. Favorite pinball podcast? That's what we all tune in for. Will Kaneda go 6 for 6? The answer is... survey says... yes, he went 6 for 6. You'll notice, though, he's dropping a little bit, 28% versus 30%. This year, he was behind the $5 paywall on Patreon. If you look at the numbers, 664 votes. I believe that's about how many people pay to watch his show. So you could almost say 1-to-1 there. The Pinball Show, 17.39, dropped a few from last year's 18.15. Super Awesome, I think, got a pretty big boost this year, 12.49% versus, don't even see him on the, 10% in 2021. Let's see, any newcomers on this list? We got Slam Tilt Podcast, Triple Drain. Triple Drain is new on this list, so who left? Looks like we lost the Backbox Podcast this year. Otherwise, it's the same 10 people on the list. I'm surprised Pinball Profile is more popular than Final Round. I find Final Round much more entertaining. Favorite Pinball Topper? I vote none of them. They do nothing to the game. But if you have money and you need to part with it, looks like we thought the Mandalorian $2,000 topper. I can't believe that won. Well, it did. It won by 9 votes over the Cactus Canyon Pew Pew topper. And Weird Al, with his poor accordion, he's going to just be playing on Hulu with his movies. Last year we had the protest vote, right? We had the free Halloween topper. So no spooky game this year, so I guess that's why they didn't win. We shall see if the Scooby-Doo topper wins for 2023. Best playfield layout. This is no surprise, and what should have won. Rush by Stern. It's a pretty good layout. Although, James Bond does have that flow. I gotta say, I've been playing some more recently, and it does just glide across that playfield. If you forget about that scuba dive section, which is like, what? What's this all about? But not as decisive as 2021, where Godzilla took it with 71%. This year's Rush only got 39% of the vote. Oh, the humanity! Favorite pinball location of 2022. Moving on to the favorite pinball location of 2022. I guess it's not your house? That's where I prefer to play pinball. But if you had to go somewhere, I guess it's Next Level Pinball in Hillsboro, Oregon. This year, it expanded its lead up to 32% of the vote, followed by the Pinball Palace, and then Old School Pinball Experience in Brazil. Yeah, our Canada voters down there. I'm a little partial to District 82, that's where I play, but it slipped this year, going down from 10 to 7. Ooh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the lights are on now. Anyway, what's your favorite location? Comment down below. You know the drill. Thumbs up if you like it. Oh wait, we're not over. The video's still going. All right, moving on. Granddaddy of them all, Game of the Year. No surprise, it was Rush Pinball by Stern, capturing 40% of the vote, and then Jersey Jack's Toy Story 4, Pat Lawler's Swan Song, Goodbye, Pat Lawler, capturing 20% of the vote. We don't have percentages for last year, but let's just assume Godzilla got 90%. James Bond here coming in pretty close to Toy Story 4 with almost 18% here in third. Weird Al at 19. What? Again, Jerry? How do you let them do this to you? Talk to Jeff at This Week in Pinball. Tell him Johnny sent you and say it's not fair and you deserve a Twippy in one of these categories. Not these runner-up Twippies, the real deal. Well, that's a wrap for the 2022 Twippy Awards. But I have not forgotten about March Madness. We've got the 2 finalists as you guys voted on. Pulp Fiction versus Foo Fighters. I'm going to need to pick a winner by looking at the comments below. Tell me who wins. This might actually be close. I'm hearing so much good things about Pulp Fiction, where Foo Fighters, people are like, yeah, it's great, but it's just another Stern. How often do you get an alphanumeric game? Haven't seen one in 30 years. Oh, and before we go, did you know in a different timeline, I hosted the Twippy Awards? Yeah, you should go check them out. It's the 2022 Not So Twippy Awards show, hosted by me, Johnny Pinball, and my co-host, Miss Carrie. It's only 30 minutes long, but I guarantee you it's just as corny as the real thing. I hope everyone has a great night. I hope to see you on the next one. Later.